Welcome weirdos back to my channel. So today this I think will be the first video that you see in my new college location. So we're going to be here for a while, which I'm excited for. I really like this apartment. It's great. So today we're going to be talking about the books that I brought from my home and brought to here to college. I brought 5 books. Not too many, not too little. I don't know if I'm going to read all of them in their entirety because some of them are really thick and long, so we'll see. First book that I brought back home is the Book of Mormon, Another Testament of Jesus Christ. This was written by Joseph Smith. This is one of the central religious texts to people of the Mormon faith. I got this my first year of college when I incidentally talked to some Mormons. I got this because ultimately what I want in my dream library is to have an entire shelf of religious texts that I can show to my children and other people, and we can flip through them and we can learn about different religions together, because I think that's really important. I can add it to some of my religious texts that I have. This tells the story of the people of Nephi and the Lamanites. This is one of the books that I don't know if I'll actually read entirely, but the reason why I brought this back from my home is that I am taking an anthropology of religion class, and I think that having some religious documents would be nice as far as to be able to compare and contrast what we're learning. I don't know if I'll actually read this while I'm here, but this is sort of something, if I want to peruse, I can. I haven't really read this at all because I haven't wanted to. Yeah, next book that I got, well, that I decided to bring back is going along the same lines as the Book of Mormon, is the Holy Bible, the New Revised Standard Version. I don't really want to talk more about my personal religion in this because it is a personal journey and I want to keep that bias out of that, at least for now. If you want me to make a video about it, I will. You just have to tell me. This was presented to me when I was, I think, 8 years old, and I took this with me to confirmation class and I wrote down all of the verses that we were learning and put the sticky note where it was. I don't know why, but that's the explanation for the sticky notes. And along the same note as the Book of Mormon, I brought this because I wanted to be able to reference it during my anthropology of religion class. This is not a book I typically take to college with me. This is not the only copy of the Bible that I have. We have some family Bibles at my house that I'm imagining one day will be given to me, which I'm actually super excited about. If you'd like me to show you those books, I will. I think they're pretty cool. I think everyone kind of knows the story of the Bible. This is the main religious text for Christianity. Some branches of Christianity, like Mormons, will have more religious texts, or like Catholics will have others. Some will have different translations, like the King James is very big in certain religious Christianity sects. This is just the version that I've had for the longest and that I was given. I haven't read this version cover to cover. I have read a version of the Bible cover to cover, and I did that in elementary school, and that contributed a lot, I think, or at least partially, to my religious views. This is something that I want to keep, to have reference in my anthropology of religion class. I don't know if I will actually be reading this unless I want to. When I did read the Bible, I did have a favorite book, and that book was Genesis. I really loved hearing the stories of how Christians thought the world existed. I really liked as a child hearing explanations, or at least Christian explanations for things in today's world. So why the snake doesn't have 8 feet, why there are many different languages. And I always really found hearing those stories from different cultures to be very interesting, very fascinating. And I love stuff like that. And so after Genesis, after the first few books of the Bible, I kind of lost a lot of interest because I didn't find that as much. So many pages long. Yeah, moving on. The next book that I brought back is The Way to Rainy Mountain. by N. Scott Nomonday and illustrated by Al Nomonday. And this book is a really short book. I forgot where my family got it from, but I think my mom bought it at a used book sale, and I'm not sure if she put the tabs in or someone else did. Why I brought it back is, again, a very similar reason to the Bible and the Book of Mormon, is that it has oral traditions of what some Native Americans believed, and on top of that, it doesn't just hold the oral traditions, it also has 2 additional types of commentary, so a historical commentary and then N. Scott Nomonday's personal, his own voice. And I thought that was really interesting, and it's a short book, so I might get to everything. This might just be used in reference. So my foot fell asleep. That's not fun. I have not read any of this. This is a book that I have continuously brought back and forth between my home and college in hopes that I will eventually get to it, but that's never happened, so I hope that that will happen soon. This specifically are the oral tradition from the Kiowas, which were people who lived on the Great Plains. This is, in my opinion, more realistic that I'll get to, and get to all of it than the Bible or the Book of Mormon. Sorry. The last book that I brought back that pertains to religion and that I brought back specifically for my Anthropology of Religion class is this World Religions, Discover the Religions That Have Shaped World History by Simon Adams. And this is a kid's book, which my parents bought for me when I was really young because they saw that I was interested in it and interested in branching out of the religion that I grew up in and was curious about other religions. I don't think I ever read this all the way through. I would always read a few pages and put it down and read a few more pages, so I don't remember how far I got. But what's really cool about this book is that it will talk about a specific religion for like an entire spread or 2 pages. So it has 2 pages just dedicated to Shinto and Shinto beliefs. And obviously it's not super in-depth, it's just supposed to give you a brief overview of what the religion is and give it in a non-biased point of view. And what's really cool is that it doesn't just focus on living religions or religions that people still practice today. It talks about dead religions, so ancient Greek, ancient Egyptian religions. So it's really, really cool, and I think something that in a easy for me to read and understand and digest in a very fast way would be nice to be able to quickly look in here and grasp some of the ideas that will be talked about in my Anthropology of Religion class. I'm so excited for this class, guys. You have no idea. Once I heard that it was a class offered at my university, I was like, I have to take it. It says on the back it's ideal for 8 to 12-year-olds. I think I was about 8 when I got it. I'm not 12 anymore. Oops. This is one of the books that I'm really happy to have because on my idealized future bookshelf that has religious text, this will be probably one of the easier ones to pull off and read to get an overview of the religion, then maybe dive into some of the children's versions of texts. And I remember I would walk around in elementary school with this in my backpack, or I'd walk around the playground with it open and reading about it, because that's who I was and still am today. I am one of those people who will walk and read. It's all about peripheral vision, people. Stop judging us. You can hear the street outside and it's so noisy because we live right next to a bar. The last book that I brought back home has nothing to do with my Anthropology of Religions class. It's to do with something completely different, and that's Abriendo Puertas, Ampliando Perspectivas por Bowen y Bowen. This is my AP Spanish literature textbook that we used in high school. I didn't take the AP Spanish Lit test because I did not want to have to memorize all the authors, all the books, and be able to recognize the text from a brief little snippet of it. I was not about that, and I knew I wouldn't study for it, and this test requires studying, so if you're going to take this test, study frickin' for it. I read most of everything, if not all the text in here, and I really enjoyed that. If you can't tell, it is extremely battered. Some of this is just the notes that my teacher and I would take in it, so not all the pages are as badly damaged as it looks. The reason I wanted to bring this back is because I was accepted into a Spanish program where I will go to a Spanish-speaking country, I don't know where yet, and work there. And I wanted to practice my reading skills because that is something I struggle with in general. I really struggle with it in Spanish, and it takes me a long time, and I wanted to actively practice that and practice my Spanish since I'm taking no Spanish classes. I decided to self-study in other ways, and one of those ways to go back to this old textbook and read it because I have read it before and we talked about the interpretations. I know I can find audio versions of these books online, plus some of these I just love. Juana Inez, I love her. She is a badass poet. She is amazing. There's a Netflix TV show about her that you should check out. I haven't checked it out yet, but she's freaking badass. So watch it. I think it's really cool, and it doesn't just have the text in here. It has like historical contextualization of what was happening, of course, all in Spanish. I really liked reading this in high school. I didn't devote as much time as I should have. I hope to devote more time to it now so that I can practice, and I'm sure that my high school teacher would love to know that I have brought this with me and plan to keep practicing it. What I hope to be doing is reading at least one text or more of these every month. So I don't know if that will happen this month because this month has been really overwhelming for me. I haven't read as much as I usually do because of personal stuff that has kind of happened and caught me off guard. Plus school is starting, so I love Spanish poetry. Poetry in Spanish is my favorite type of poetry. Not that it's type of poetry, but it's just such a beautiful language to read poems in, and I much prefer it to English. It's just the truth. Thank you so much for watching me talk about the books that I brought back from school and my reasoning why. Whether or not I will read them, I don't know, man. I'm super excited. I hope you like my new location. If you want me to give you a little bit of a tour, let me know and I can do that. I think that's all I have to say. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment down below telling me what, if you have read Abriendo Puertas, if you know what the frick I'm talking about, if you have a favorite short story or story from it, or if you have a favorite book of the Bible or of the Book of Mormon, or anything like that, or if you have a religion that you want me to talk about briefly, let me know. I'm down for it. Yeah. Thanks so much, and bye. Still hot.